We got no Facebook.
Again.
Do you want to go or no?
Are we going to get it or we just got to wait for it?
No, we have to sign all up for it.
Never mind. We'll get it. Can you get it later?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, people do tell me they have notifications like when it comes up.
This is an Evergreen Media Network studio production. Welcome to the Lori Davis Show, where it's all about the amazing lifestyle on our Treasure Coast. And here's your host and realtor for life, Lori Davis.
Hello, and welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you here today. I had the cold that's been going around Indian River County, going around Vero, going around Sebastian. Cindy had the cold. Yeah, we couldn't do a show last week. It was so sad. And we have the Vero Beach High School gals, or the tennis team, that we owe a show to because they do a fundraiser.
Okay. They were doing it last week.
They were doing it last week, and I couldn't do this.
I had allergies. I don't know if it was even a cold.
I was choking to cough. I just didn't think it would be a good show.
No, it's not. When you're
I didn't think anybody
like
sniffling and blowing. Yeah, that wouldn't have been good. But everybody feels better, at least a little bit better today. Listen, I have to say I have one of my favorite people in Vero Beach on the show with me. This is her. I know it's second time. It might be third. It's third. I love it. I love it. She's one of the smartest women I've ever known. She is she's a medical physician in town, and she is amazing. I'm not going to give it away, though. I'm going to make you wait. I'm going to wait for it. Wait for it, baby. You always know it's better when you got to wait for it. Anyway, let's take care of some housekeeping. Dale Sorensen Real Estate. I just always remind people we are sponsored by Dale Sorensen Real Estate. The reason why the show, we talk about what's going on around town. We talk about lifestyle. The reason why people are here in Vero Beach and are now coming again, because it's really gotten busy again, is because of the lifestyle that we offer here. Right, Cindy?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the weather, the people. There's a lot of cars and stuff, but honestly, most people you meet in Vero are really kind of nice. I have people tell me that all the time.
Yeah, they do. We did a show a couple of days ago that was talking about that. You know, how that's why they moved here.
I know. They're like, everybody I meet is so kind and so nice and so helpful. Oh, yeah, you know, you got to meet so-and-so. Right. So it's a great place to be. And we have offices in Indian River. We have 4 offices in Indian River. We're at Sea Oaks. We're at Cardinal Drive. We're at A1A, which is North A1A up by the 7-Eleven and the CVS. And then we have one down on 14th Avenue. We're also in Brevard, and we're also in St. Lucie County. So if you're looking for Dale Sorensen Real Estate, if you're listening to this on the radio or watching it on a podcast or on Facebook or YouTube, know that you can find a Dale Sorensen Real Estate agent, which you should be calling me, Lori Davis. I'm at the Cardinal Drive office to help you find some real estate. Or if you decided to just suddenly it's time to sell your home, you should definitely call us, call me. I would be happy to help you with that. Year-to-date numbers for the week. I got blown away when I pulled the numbers up, Cindy. Okay, this is year-to-date. We're like 6 weeks in. $105 million closed year-to-date.
I got it.
They got 24% of the market share.
That's crazy.
The next closest brokerage is $45 million at 9.8% of the market share. Like it was, the graphs were like, I was blown away. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's a lot going on in real estate right now. If you're a buyer out there, you're going to have to hustle to it. Again, we're back to a little bit. It's not a bidding war because we're not getting as many multiple offers unless that it's priced really, really competitively. But from a seller standpoint, you definitely want to get with a realtor who can get you priced right because we can get you on the market and under contract in probably a week. But statistics are showing it's actually up a little bit. I think we're at 5.8. Is it 5.9 months? Yeah, 4.9. So it's almost 5 months, but that's from list to close. So understanding that if you have the right broker and you have the right agent and you get yourself priced right, we can get you done. And then all the showings stop, then the paperwork starts, the inspection begins, and then you're just on to getting yourself all packed up to close. So there is an advantage to having it priced right and also getting with the right broker to get you to that spot, to that listing that you've told them is what exactly you're looking for. So anyway, congrats to Dale Sorensen Real Estate. Yes. I was really proud of that. Mm-hmm. You'll be happy to know inventory is up. So there is more inventory this year versus 2023. January, we're up about 15%. Under contracts, this is the intensity I'm talking about, was double last year at this time. So last year they had maybe 180 contracts. Now we're like 322. Like so much more activity.
Is that people that were here for a while and now they're going? Because somebody said to me the other day, you don't want to buy anything now, it's 7% interest. And I'm like, why is everybody freaked out about that? I mean, that 3% and 2% it wasn't sustainable.
No, but we can actually get, you're looking in the sixes right now.
Okay.
We're 6.75, 6.8, 6.5, depending on your credit score, right? Because we know that has a lot to do with it.
Right.
But there are people that have been waiting to buy.
Okay.
And with a little bit more inventory that we're getting now, then they're actually, it's a product that they like. It's now available. Things that weren't available years ago are now coming on the market. And I'm very happy to be representing a lot of those sellers because we're doing a great job and hopefully they're happy with what we've got going on.
And those are some normal numbers.
They are.
I mean,
nothing crazy.
No, they're
nothing
normal
out of
numbers.
control.
I'm like, why is everybody freaking out?
I know.
It's crazy.
I know. Just chill. Anyway, don't have your realtor tell you that. I could say that, but that's because we're friends. All right, let's go. Thank you, Citrus Grill House, for the cocktail that you brought us today. This is a little birdie told me this is our guest's favorite drink. That's because I know her well. It's called a bee's knees. It was invented in 1920s in Paris during Prohibition. It's kind of cool. It's gin, lemon juice, and honey, and it tastes delicious. All right. Let's just get on to the guest right now because she is amazing. She has so many things to talk about. If you ever meet her in your life in this town, you need to stop her and say, you are blank. No, I'm just kidding. She's doing wonderful things. She's into the concierge medicine business, but she is a mother. She is a wife. She is an amazing doctor. I'm just going to introduce Nancy Baker to the show, and then I'll start to tell you all the great things that she's doing, because it is really important, I think, what you're doing out there, and especially what we all know if you are local from Vero Beach and hear about Cleveland Clinic, what's going on over there. As Cindy giggles in the background. Not good. So tell us a little bit about what it was that made you decide to go off into this concierge medicine that you're doing today.
So when I had the opportunity to start my own business, it was sort of this perfect storm. You know, I had been doing traditional E&M medicine, which is, you know, you make an appointment, you go see the doctor, use your insurance. And I would end up seeing somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 patients a day. And then, you know, I like to talk. We're a little chatty. And so I would talk and I'd get behind. And then, the afternoon patients would be super duper behind. And then, I wouldn't have a chance to do all the nonsense, the documentation, all the things. So I would, end up running behind all day long and rush and saying I'm sorry all the time to everybody because I would love to give my absolute attention to someone.
Of course.
And then I would go home and I'd have hours of work in the evening, and it wasn't really sustainable, really long term. And so you get sort of burnt out. And then when the practice that I was working for was sold to the Cleveland Clinic, it was sort of a clean opportunity to make a break and to try this model of medicine, which is a direct primary care model. And there's two ways that people can do DPC. You can have volume-based where people just pay a flat rate, and they see volume, like $75 a patient, and see a bunch of people.
Okay.
And you basically just take the middleman, which is insurance, out of the equation.
Okay.
Again, I wanted to do less volume, more quality, and so the only way to do that would be to charge a concierge fee.
Right.
And so there was a doctor that I worked with that I'd known for a really long time, and he had this model of practice, and he seemed genuinely to have joy when he went to work, and he seemed like the most content, like really, he felt like he was doing what he was called to do, as a doctor. If you ask, so I teach at the med school, and you ask the medical students, like, why do you want to go to be a doctor? The answer is always, we want to help people. Right. And, what we are trained to do and what the product that we're delivering isn't the same thing in our modern corporate society. A lot of people the doctor will come in, spend 10 minutes, not look up from their computer and leave, and you don't feel like you're heard.
We've all experienced that, haven't we?
Yeah.
And so, so I have the opportunity to slow it down. and to make eye contact and to have relationships and to come on radio shows. And I mean, to foster, you know, I have more fulfillment. So I'm happier and I'm able to be a better deliverer of this content, this product, because I'm happier.
Right. Well, let me ask real quickly, because we did talk about this earlier. You also teach over at Indiana River State College.
Well, actually, it's Florida State University's College of Medicine.
Okay.
So we have a regional campus. Our building is technically FSU. So,
cool.
When you walk in our building, you're on campus at FSU. So the medical school that FSU has is distributive. So it means that we have campuses all over the state. And so we have a state campus at Indiana River State College. We have a collaborative agreement with them. And so I have 20 third-year medical students, 20 fourth-year medical students, and 10 PA students every year that I help teach family medicine to. I've been doing that for 16 years. So that
I know
predates
you've been doing it a long time. Well, what are their thoughts on where you are now? How long have you been in your medical career?
Our practice just turned 3 years old.
Okay, 3 years in there, but you've been in medicine, a doctor for
26 years.
Okay, so when you've got new doctors out there coming into the field, how do you discuss what you're doing? And in your field, is it like pay your dues? You can come over here eventually, or how does that work? Interesting, right?
I definitely think it's difficult to just put yourself out there and charge a concierge fee if you don't have a following of patients who know what you're delivering.
Yes.
I think it's possible if someone like purchases a practice, or if there's like some sort of baton handing or something like that. But I think it's so different than what it was. Like, I think this is. When you go to places like Europe, like when we were in Ireland a couple of years ago, I was sick and I went to the ER in Ireland, which I don't recommend.
See?
I don't recommend the ER in general. Like the ER is not my favorite place.
No.
But I'm glad ERs exist, and I was very grateful to get care in a foreign country. And I sat in a chair for 8 hours. And when I checked in, I'm like, listen, I'm an American physician. I think I know what's wrong. I'd love to just expedite talk to somebody. They're like, have a seat, and then we'll get to you. And it was 8 hours that I sat in a chair. And we had a tour guide the next day, and he was like, oh, well, you went to the public hospital, which is for free, and everyone has capture care. Like they get care.
Everybody gets care.
But then they have a second, like, tiered system where people have private hospitals where they pay for that. And I think that's what's happening. Like, everyone talks about socialized medicine. That's how socialized medicine is delivered. It's two tiers. And it's great because you have a safety net for people that cannot afford it. And I have lots of mixed feelings about, charging extra, especially when patients are, paying for insurance and paying for me. But then, when you look at what we spend our money on, people spend money on cigarettes and alcohol and dinners out, and prioritizing your health. When you look at the breakdown on a monthly basis, it's not obscene what we're charging to come see someone who, and when you need a lawyer, you pay a professional fee. When you need a professional, because somewhere along the way, insurance companies decided to reimburse people for volume and not quality.
Right.
And so
that's where the medical field
and so this
sideways,
triangular
right,
relationship.
Cindy?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the triangular relationship between doctor, insurance, and patient is taken away with direct primary care. That's the whole concept.
Right.
And so it's just really, it's for my students, they see me delivering this, and they definitely are curious about it. A lot of them will come spend a day in my office with me or talk about it. But I do think that there's going to be a lot more change. Like, I think things are so different now than they were 10 years ago.
Yes.
And in another 10 years, the delivery of medicine is going to be even more different.
Right.
And so that's the other thing that we always have to remember, is that medicine evolves, and the delivery of medicine, the science behind medicine, everything evolves. And you can't remain stagnant. You have to figure out how to work within the constructs that we have.
Correct.
And so I'm just really lucky that, the timing worked out, and there was a demand for this type of service, and my practice is full.
And she's full. You can't call Nancy Baker. But there may be some people added to the practice, so keep your ears and eyes open. Cindy, you wanted to ask about, we've got a lot of local people that have been sick, and there's been colds flying around, and some people are calling it COVID, some people are calling it allergies. What's your question?
I don't really have a question, but I just, I'm saying that is it allergies? I mean, I think it's allergies.
Is it?
That's what I think it was for the pollen and all
that. That is the $64 million question.
That's why we're asking the doctor. She's like, well, I don't know.
Yeah. Often patients will come in and see me, and they'll say, my nose is running and I have a sore throat and I'm sick. And then you're like, well, how long have you been sick for? And they're like, a month. I'm like, well, if it's been a month, it's probably not a cold. And, you know, there's these wonderful, so one of the best things about Vero Beach, especially beachside, is the oaks. We have the art under the oaks, and we have, I mean, my yard has 3 oak trees, but then for the next 3 weeks, I don't enjoy the oaks because they will be dumping their pollen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's happening.
Oh, it's coming.
And so everyone that's got a runny nose right now, you might be able to blame our oaks for the next 3 weeks. Yeah. Because they will dump their pollen and your car will have a dusting of yellow.
Yeah.
So here's my one observation, and I don't know if it's true or not, but my doctor told me years ago, and this is going to sound disgusting on the radio, but I'm going to say it anyway.
It's my show. Go ahead.
Right. He'd say, well, what color is is it clear?
Does that still matter?
Is it green?
So yellow or green doesn't necessarily mean infection.
Okay.
But, you know, if you have colored drainage for 7 to 10 days and also symptoms of sinus pressure and, you know, so when people say, oh, I have a sinus infection, they may not have a sinus infection. Yeah. But if you so say you have a fever and facial pain and you pus pouring out of your nose, it's pretty clear you have a sinus infection. You know,
mine was
quacks
clear.
like a duck. But you know, 7 to 10 days after a while, you think, okay, well maybe because your sinuses don't have a direct blood supply, so their airspace. What the word sinus means is airspace. So it's just their airspace is inside your skull, so that you don't have like too heavy a head to carry above your neck, right? So. Yeah, so you have your maxillary sinuses over your cheeks, and you have ethmoid next to your nose, and frontal over your eyes, and then there's one deep in your head called a sphenoid sinus, which if you get infected in there, it's not such fun.
Not good.
And you can get what we call pansinusitis, where everything is full of pus, and so that's one of the reasons why it takes so long to treat a sinus infection, because there's no direct blood supply. So any antibiotics I give to you have to diffuse into that airspace, into the liquid, and kill the bugs that are there. And that's why people like Dr. Baggett and Dr. Livingston have sinus, open up sinus surgeries and stuff, because sometimes that's the only way to drain them.
Only way to get it out. I know somebody who just did a lot of that, and they were so happy with it.
It's a tough surgery to go through.
But still, it was very, very difficult.
You're basically beat up a little bit.
Yeah, it's banging. It is not good.
Yeah,
it's not a good thing.
So right now, if your nose is running, it might be COVID, because we are seeing COVID again, and it's not... It's fundamentally different in terms of its presentation than it was in the beginning of the pandemic. It's the reason why we're not masked up in this room together.
Right. Correct.
Is that, you know, the disease has evolved just as medicine evolves.
Yes.
And so it is now endemic, which means you're going to have, like, often it'll be just like other coronaviruses, and forever coronaviruses have been colds.
Exactly.
And then they also have RSV in the community, which is a viral infection that causes like wheezy lower respiratory infection, like a bronchitis or even pneumonia.
Yes.
And then we have, you know, the flu, which, I mean, Megan, my daughter, her whole, like half her class at St. Ed's was out because they all had everybody, it like ripped through the school. And that's what the flu does. It's so contagious. And the symptoms of the flu are high fever, body aches, and you'll be good at breakfast and down by dinner time. Like, you cannot get out of bed.
You just hits you.
Fevers, though.
Yeah, usually fever for flu.
I didn't have it.
When someone calls me up and they're like, I can't, I'm too sick to come see you, I'm like, do you have a fever? And if the answer is yes, I'm like, you have the flu.
Okay. Like, take the aspirin.
But we have that there are for urgent cares and like in our office, we have rapid flu testing, rapid COVID testing, rapid RSV testing. So the delivery of healthcare has also evolved, that we have point of care testing for all of these respiratory illnesses too. So if you're not sure, you could go to an urgent care or to your doctor and get tested.
Well, listen, we have to go to a commercial. That's how we pay for this show. We'll be back with Nancy Baker, our favorite doctor here in Vero Beach, Florida. You guys will be right back. See you in a minute.
It's time to call Easy Brew Coffee and Bottled Water Service and learn just how much you can save and how convenient it is to have your coffee and bottled water delivered right to your home or office. In addition to water coolers, Easy Brew offers individual bottles of water in 8 or 16-ounce bottles. No more lugging it home or dragging it into the office. Serving the Treasure Coast for over 2 decades, 2 letters, 1 simple name. Easy for Easy Brew. Visit e-zbrew.com or call 800-792-3285. Easy Brew.
Kinky Boots is coming to Riverside, a dazzling extravaganza with music and lyrics by Cyndi Lauper. It's the story of a failing shoe factory. When the owner meets up with a fabulous drag queen, she helps him save the business. Winner of the Tony for Best Musical, Kinky Boots, is now playing at the beautiful Riverside Theater in Vero Beach. But you don't have to wait. Get your best tickets now at the box office or online at riversidetheater.com.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs, and all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Pollywood. We're having a big February clearance sale, which includes all Tommy Bahama and Lexington in stock or special order, 50% off. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in Vero Beach, next to Planet Fitness. Family owned and operated since 1991. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store directly across the street.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Ooh, have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
I feel so much better right now. Because I got my doctor in the house.
Doc is here.
The doctor is in. Nancy Baker is here with us with Coastal Complete. And I just wanted to, this is her beautiful concierge medicine. She has this practice, but she is full. But keep your eyes and ears open because we may be adding a doctor or two that we can add in new patients. So Coastal Complete.
Direct primary care.
Direct primary care. There was a lot of words in that. I knew that.
It is. If I ever start another business, I will make sure that it has a short name.
Thank you.
Because writing that down on tax forms and emails
my
and everything,
gosh.
I'm like, why did I do this to
I know.
myself?
What was I thinking?
But I picked it because I was like, but I want it to be coastal and
I know,
complete. I'm
I know.
thorough.
And it's primary care.
And so people, and I want people to understand that it was direct primary care.
Correct.
That's what we're delivering.
Correct.
And more people are starting to understand what that is.
Yes, I believe that's true. I
Yeah.
believe that's true. One of the things we were talking about at the break, guys, is if you don't feel good, I mean, when do you call a doctor or when do you go to the hospital? How do you know? Because you can go to CVS or Walgreens and buy anything. It tells you got nose and throat and
So
stomach.
the first thing is I would never, if someone is nervous,
Yeah.
I would always say you should trust your own gut. Like if you think you need to see a doctor, you should go see a doctor.
Right.
Like
Right,
always
yeah.
trust that
Just
little
do
voice
that.
inside of yourself.
Good. Yeah.
In generalities, because I don't want to steer anybody wrong.
No.
But and it also depends on what else is wrong with you, right? If you have COPD and you have a respiratory thing, you might go to the doctor a lot sooner than somebody who's gets a cold once a year and it's good.
Yeah.
So trust your gut, and then if something persists or isn't getting better, obviously go see your doctor.
Right. But I mean, this cold that's rolling around, can you just, if you runny
it is
nose?
bad.
It is.
Everyone's like, I've been coughing for 3 weeks. I'm like, I know.
But there's nothing you can do.
There are medicines. I give people cough drops. I do recommend neti pots, which are disgusting,
Yeah,
but
those are
super
good.
effective.
They're
they
so
are.
effective.
Yeah.
I know.
They're gross,
I
and they
know.
work.
I know.
Nasal steroids like Flonase.
Okay, I did this Flonase
over the
thing.
counter. If you can tolerate an antihistamine, some medicines interact. So
If
you
you
have to be
can
careful.
stop what's going on here, it's not going to end up down here.
Yeah,
correct?
so Flonase, it's like nasal steroids don't really have any like interactions with anything. They're over the counter. They're super safe. It's
good.
really good especially for this oak pollen nonsense. It's worth a
Yes.
shot.
Yeah.
And then neti pots are safe. You just make sure you use distilled water and not tap.
Okay, even with those little
You always want to
saline
use.
packs.
Yeah, you have to use distilled water.
Okay,
that's
see,
right. She's right.
You know how much terrible water I've done on my I just take
That's a
that,
whole other
that
show.
Vero Beach water they've been delivering that's busting all our pipes out of the bottom of everybody's houses. Did that happen to you?
No.
Oh, you didn't have the water
I
thing?
got a system.
Okay, you got a system. You got a system.
I
Oh,
do.
that's right. You have
I
the
do.
system that gets that
No,
done.
you sold me my house that I love.
I know.
Realtor
I know.
for life.
It's a
She is my
fabulous-
realtor for
I
life.
am. Thank you. And she's my doctor for life. So anyway, Nancy Baker, thank you so much for coming. We are so
Pleasure.
happy to have you here. The name of the practice is
Coastal Complete Direct Primary Care.
Yes. If you guys, if you are interested, call me, Lori Davis, and I'll give you the information on it. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We love having you. Be safe out there. Stay well. use your Flonase. You're about to have 3 weeks of pollen, so you heard it here first. Have a great day, and we'll see you here next week. Thanks again for coming. Bye-bye.
You may.